What's up, guys? Welcome to the Royal Figures Show. Man, we're getting into it in this episode. I'm going to play a clip of Steven Jackson on what he had to say about Gilbert Arenas. He definitely threw some shots over at his way. He's saying in order to be called a hooper, you have to be able to not just score and play on offense, but you got to be a dog on defense too. And he is insinuating that Gilbert Arenas did not play no damn defense in the NBA. And we're going to play a little bit of snippet on what Gilbert Arenas had to say about Steven Jackson. You want to hear about it? Stay tuned. Let's go. All right, so this is a reaction video. So I'm going to be playing and pausing and giving my take on both of Steven Jackson's reaction and also Gilbert Arenas' reaction to the Scores versus Hoopers conversation piece. Let's kind of first start off in giving with Steven Jackson on what he had to say. First, you can tell Steven Jackson's probably fed up with hearing the nonsense that's coming out of Gilbert Arenas' mouth. I can say, man, there are some things that Gilbert Arenas I agree with, and there are some things that Gilbert Arenas says that I disagree with. But this one right here, we're going to get into it, and let's go ahead and start the video.
Good morning from Stack Locker. From Stack Locker, say free game. It's too many scorers talking right now. They're not hoopers. There's a difference between scorers and hoopers, right? You got people that can score points, and like you give them the credit. Scoring points in the NBA is a hard job. A lot of us average 20 a year, right? I average 20 a couple of years. But scorers are not hoopers to us. Hoopers play on both ends. Hoopers compete, they play defense, they score, and they go down there to stop their man, and they win.
Now, he said they score and they go down on the other end and play defense and they go and stop their man and they win. That's what he said is difference between a scorer and a hooper. A hooper does several things. This is what Steven Jackson is saying. And a scorer just only cares about scoring the game, which means they're not really worrying about winning the basketball game. They're not worrying about playing defense to stop their man on the other end of the court. And they ain't worrying about other things, but they only care about scoring, the stat sheet, stat padding. Steven Jackson is saying that he was a hooper. He played on the offensive side of the ball. He scored an average 20 points per game several years in the league, which Steven Jackson was a good player. He was a good player, man. He played defense as well.
Right? Everybody in hoopers. It's a lot of players that came through the NBA that could score points that didn't have long careers. It's just the truth. But everybody's not a hooper. A lot of your favorite scorers were scary. They were soft. They didn't compete on defense. They didn't try to stop nobody. And they didn't make nobody better. And they didn't win. And it was never on the team when their team was number one defensive team in the league.
Let me tell you something, man. I like this. I like this. I really do. And we're going to get in it so we can hear what Gilbert Arenas and how he's going to respond. So we're going to hear a little bit from Brandon Jennings and we're going to hear a little bit from Rashad McCants on their topic between scores versus hoopers. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you agree with Steven Jackson on what he was saying about there's a difference between scores and hoopers, and that scores do just all they want to do is score the basketball. And he did say by prefacing that it's hard to score, yet alone average 20 points plus a game in the NBA. It's hard, but he said there's a difference. There's another level that you have to go to when you're talking about being a hooper, because you not only have to worry about scoring, you have to worry about playing defense, stopping your man, and getting the W, doing all those things at one time. So let's listen to on the Gills Arena show to hear what they think about scores versus hoopers.
Play both ends. You play defense
Oh,
and
that's what a
offense.
hooper means
Yeah,
now?
that's what a hooper.
Now?
Yeah, a score is just a person that scores.
You never talk about defense.
It was a basketball player. No, the two names was basketball player and hooper.
That has nothing to do with
Hooper was niggas who didn't know how to play basketball. They go to the park and they just know how to score. That was the hooper for the last 2-3 years. It was
They gave you the wrong
basketball players.
definition.
Wait, when did we start
They gave y'all
taking
niggas
in
the wrong
defense?
Rashad McCants said they gave you the wrong definitions. Listen, whether you want to kind of see, this is how you know Gilbert Arenas being petty right now, because you're so worried about you want to create what's the definition for you, but Steven Jackson clearly put it out there on what a hooper is. That's his definition. So we have to go off on the premises on what he believes what a hooper is and what a scorer is. I want to hear specifically from Gilbert Arenas, what are your thoughts on based off on those definitions? Don't try to create a definition on you because you're not really responding to the statement that Steven Jackson said.
Been included in basketball player versus hooper?
It was basketball. Are you a basketball player or are you just a hooper? Are you just a guy?
hoop?
Or you just do you know how to
does
hoop?
not mean
Do you know how to
score.
hoop or you just a scorer?
Are you just a
Yes.
score the ball?
Yes.
Are you a basketball player or you
Who
just
said that?
a six-man hooper? Someone who goes to the Drew League and he just
Nah.
A hooper.
That's what a hooper was.
A hooper plays both ends.
Nah, Gilbert. You're trying to change the narrative here. You ain't even asked. He did not say, oh, he said, oh, what's the difference? What is the difference between a hooper and a scorer? He clearly stated that, and he clearly gave definitions to both ones. Come on, man.
First time
That's what you just called that.
That's what it's always been, bro.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
A hooper plays both ends?
That's what y'all see. You got to get it mixed up of where you hoop at. Where you hoop at?
Never said that.
No one.
Who has never said that?
The hooper plays both sides of the ball?
Zach Jack just said that.
Y'all never said that.
I mean, that's out there. I mean, it's out there. I'm just saying it's out there. That's how I live it.
We have never talked about a hooper playing both sides of the ball.
I always talk about
What is she talking about?
both sides of the ball. I always talk about this guy. I can't fuck with him because he don't play both sides of the ball.
But that was not That wasn't a basketball player.
I never said whether it was hooper or basketball.
Okay, then what are you arguing about? Because the two categories. I don't give a fuck what the two categories.
So how did if you don't care what he's saying, how did I get in the middle of it?
Because
when he brought it up.
Okay, the two categories were called basketball players.
No, it wasn't. Not what he's referencing to.
What I'm saying, basketball players and just hoopers. Hoopers were dudes that just went out there, rolled the ball, and they just hooped. They didn't know how to play basketball.
That's where you learned it.
Kobe Bryant was a basketball player. LeBron a basketball player. Hoopers was six men who just come in and just played. Hoopers. Now it's hoopers and scores. Now these hoopers this random nigga.
I never said it was a basketball. If you're a hooper, I never said it. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm a hooper. I hoop. I do it all. Man, I don't just do what he's talking about. I'm not a one-dimensional nigga. So I don't know.
So Brandon Jennings is saying, hey, I'm not a one-dimensional nigga. I know how to hoop. I know how to go out on the basketball court, and I know how to play on both ends. I never was a player that just played offense. He's saying that I played defense as well and trying to get the W and trying to stop my man. So I don't know what Gilbert Arenas and his sidekick, the female, is saying and talking about trying to create their own narratives. Let me tell you something. There is a difference between a hooper and a scorer. And like Rashad McCants said, you can't be talking. There was times when I played ball when you said, man, I don't want him on my team because all he cares about is doggone just shooting the basketball. He don't want to pass the ball. He don't want to rebound the ball. He don't want to even play defense. And you have to be able to play defense if I wanted you on my team. Point blank, period. What are we talking about?
The conversation is hooper versus hooper. That's what he's talking about. Hooper, basketball player. Stack Jack posted some shit about hooper versus score. And that's what he's referencing. He said, I'm a hooper. I play both sides of the ball.
Okay, so before that, a hooper was a nigga who just played basketball.
I don't know. Before that, a hooper was exactly what it was. What he described. I never heard. Yeah. To me, a dog, a hooper, whatever. A nigga play both sides. Go get you a bucket. I go stop a nigga. So why I'm out here hooping? I don't know, nigga. You made that shit up.
He sure did.
A basketball player is a white man. Say it again. It started because I know they want to be. Started where? It's a basketball player. Where? Where did it start? A couple years ago. A couple years ago. So who was I there? Let him speak. Was I here part of that? I don't know what the call again. I don't know. I wasn't there. That was the debate though. Hoopers versus basketball. I wasn't part of that debate. I'm just telling what was going on.
So when did he say that about
basketball player is a white man? I believe yesterday.
Oh,
yes.
Yesterday. All right. So up until yesterday, what was the conversation?
The same as it is today.
It wasn't Hooper versus
both sides of the ball. But what was the name of
What are we talking about here? It's this. There is a difference. There are players that played on both sides of the ball. What do you think? What made Kobe Bryant so great? What made Kobe Bryant so great to get to another level? The reason why he mirrored his game after Michael Jordan is because he was in awe on how Michael Jordan had all the offensive skill sets and how he played defense. His defense skill sets, how he played defense. Let me tell you something, man. Kobe Bryant is one great example of how he was a hooper. He enjoyed killing his opponent on the offensive side of the ball, and he enjoyed just as much killing his opponent on the defensive side of the ball. Do you remember the great matchup between him and Tracy McGrady? How they was going at it back and forth, back and forth? Tracy McGrady will even tell you is that they had battles because Kobe Bryant wanted to win in every category, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but he wanted to pulverize you by putting clap down defense on you on the defensive side of the ball. Like Rashad McCann said, you could call him a hooper, you could call him a dog, whatever. But there is a difference between somebody who just want to score all the time and somebody who wants to hoop by playing offense and defense.
That it was called a basketball hooper. No, it wasn't a hooper. You hoop.
We talk about score shooter, hooper basketball player. So now it's hooper score.
What? Anything to do with hoop has to do with defense. It's not just scoring the ball. That's what scores get fucked up. You just
basically what he's saying, a nigga who just put the ball in is useless.
Yeah,
basically what he's saying, if you're just a scorer, you're useless.
They didn't label a hooper as a scorer. The hooper was the nigga who just didn't know how to play basketball.
No.
So who is the nigga to do both? What do you call him? Basketball player.
No, that's a white man in a jersey.
That's what basketball player. Niggas who knew how to play basketball. Right? So and one dudes were called hoopers. The and one what?
What? He called the N1. He called the N1 basketball players. He called them hoopers. Gilbert, man, you are changing the narrative and creating your own description. Just go based off on what Steven Jackson said. See what he's doing is he's playing a mental psychology game right now. He is trying to keep you off balance so that way you forget about what really needs to be talked about. Is there a difference? Well, there are players in the league that care just about scoring, and was there players in the league that was a step above that cared about playing offense and cared about playing defense just as well as offense? Come on now.
Are they?
They're not a hooper.
Wait, say it again?
They're not a hooper too?
Wait.
If they just play defense,
really
but they don't.
Oh, they're a defender. They're a defender.
But they're not a hooper then.
They're a defender.
Why are they not a hooper? Why can't
they can't
They don't do it equal. They don't do it equally.
They do score.
They don't do it equally.
At a super high level.
Do it equally.
He can't come down and he just.
What if he does just in spurts?
He's a defender.
But why can't he be a hooper too?
It's not the criteria.
He doesn't allow that. He doesn't score good enough.
We don't allow that. You got to.
Okay, but again, so it's about scoring then.
Okay, we're gonna go by his.
But it's about the
Al Iverson.
It's about the offense.
He was a steals champ.
It's about the offense.
Multiple years
But
in a row. Okay, but I'm not asking
more
you,
about the offense.
What does he
man.
fall under?
He's a hooper.
Yeah, he's a hooper. He says he plays.
Who's a hooper?
Huh?
So he's considered a hooper.
Does
being a steals champ mean that
That don't-
Yeah, that's defense.
Steal.
No, it doesn't.
What is
No,
a
it
steal?
doesn't.
when you take
defense.
the ball from the other guy.
Is that defense?
It is a part
All
of it.
right. So
Defensive
why are we
stat,
asking
but it's
these
not
crazy?
defense.
Okay, so
Y'all acting crazy
hey,
right
can
now.
you name some just scores that wasn't hoopers?
Can I name some scorers that wasn't?
That falls under the category that he was.
You mean?
He was,
Can I name some scorers who weren't defenders?
no, you said hoopers.
Because a scorer is not because a scorer just scores.
I understand. He's trying to change the.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A scorer who can play defense is a hooper.
So
Okay,
who are
so,
hoopers?
So
So
name
name
some.
hoopers.
So name some.
Scorers who can play defense, right? That's what you want me to do.
No. Name whatever category that you this falls under. So
Hooper.
name us just scores that don't play defense.
That don't play
That
defense.
don't
Yeah.
play defense.
Gilbert Arenas.
Didn't play defense like that.
Okay, well, he's a shooter.
Steve Nash
Didn't play defense at all.
like that.
Shooter, right? He's not
Gilbert,
a shooter, right?
Says who?
You didn't. You said you don't like playing defense.
I said who says who?
You said you didn't like playing defense. So you said you're not a defender. You said on this couch you're not a defender. You said I don't like defense at all.
I was third in the field. So I just
Get him, Brandon.
You said it yourself when you
Get him, Brandon. Get him, Brandon. See, just let me tell you something. I do like the Gilbert Arenas show. Shout out to them boys over there, man. I do like your show. This is just this is just a responding video that I'm creating so to spark conversation, man. So this is just a reaction video right here. And let me tell y'all something. I like what Brandon Jennings said. Call a spade a spade. Gilbert Arenas, you was a scorer, but you was not a hooper. All you cared about was scoring. You even said it yourself. You didn't like to play defense. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stick to the narrative of what we're talking about. You've proven Brandon Jennings has proved his point. You even said you didn't like playing defense. That's what Steven Jackson is saying. Stop playing, man. You crazy, Gilbert, but stop playing, man. I support you. I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, man. I like y'all show, man. Keep doing your thing, but let's stop playing. You know that there's a difference between scorers and actual hoopers. Hoopers play basketball. Hoopers is the definition that you want a hooper on your team because they know how to hoop. Under the guidelines, under knowing how to play basketball is that you know how to shoot and score the basketball. You know how to play defense. You know how to D your man up, and you know how to win. Come on, man. It's not that deep.
You didn't play defense. You said it yourself.
No one.
Loophole
You
Gilbert.
had nobody. You playing against nobody. Nobody.
But I had two people that average.
Jamal,
I never played
Jamal
defense
Crawford.
'cause I didn't
Jamal
have-
Crawford.
I had two people that averaged 19, but I said I didn't pass the ball.
Jamal Crawford didn't play defense.
Come on, man.
It's a lot of.
I mean, that's four.
The person who said it, where does he fall in this category?
He plays both sides.
He said he plays both sides.
He said it.
Yeah, he plays.
Is that
He averaged 20 a game, and he played against the hardest offensive player out there. When he's out there, he
And he
started the
won.
best nigga.
Yeah.
Yep, and he
He
did.
said he won.
And he won a championship.
he won?
Yeah, with Spurs.
Yes, he did. Yes, yes,
So
he
by
did.
his definition, he's a hooper because I do
So,
both.
yeah.
By his so the definition revolves around him, and then if you fit into it, that's you.
No, it doesn't revolve around.
Because
me.
I thought it-
Hey, man, guys, that's enough of this, man. That's enough of this, man. You see how Gilbert Arenas, how his mouth is just left wide open because there was nothing that he could say. Steven Jackson is an NBA champion. Steven Jackson was a hooper because he played his role. But don't get it twisted. Steven Jackson could go out there and give you 20 if that was his role. When he was playing for the San Antonio Spurs, he knew how to play basketball. He was a bona fide hooper. We all know the story on what happened in San Antonio when he got into it because he felt like he was a better player than Gino Mono Ginobili. He felt like he was a better player. He felt like it. Let me tell you something. Who am I to knock a man if he feels like he's better than you? And I'm gonna tell you something. No, and those years that he played in San Antonio, he was a dog. He was a hooper. It was a reason why he won the NBA championship. He played a role on that team. He played defense as well as scoring the basketball on the offensive side. He played on both ends of the court. Stop playing with Steven Jackson. He wasn't no scrub. Steven Jackson wasn't no scrub. So stop playing with him, man. Stop it. Stop it. And he's an NBA champion. Gilbert Arenas, you're not an NBA champion, but this is not about the conversation that if you're good or not because you're not an NBA champion. This is about the difference between a hooper and a scorer. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do y'all think about it? Do you agree with Steven Jackson that there is a difference between hoopers versus scorers? Let me know in the comment section. Y'all already know my motto, man. Keep your head on a swivel and stay tuned to the next video.